Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It's Kate Richburg, and it's time for Free Tip Friday. It's great to have all of you with me here today on our Friday broadcast. Great to see all of you all. And it looks like we are up and running. So, thank you again so much for joining me. We're going to have a fun time today making this really what I think is a super fast and super easy project for you guys. I think you guys are going to really love it. I know I love it. And I'm just making sure that I can see all of you guys here. I can see that Faye has jumped on over on our YouTube stream. Hello, Faye, and happy American Thanksgiving, though I know that you're in Canada. But I hope you had a happy Thursday. But it's great to, and it's Faye and Kim, two members of our really fantastic and top-notch bead shop design team. And if you don't know our bead shop design team, you can see their really the wonderful fruits of their labor through all of our lookbooks that are on our website at beadshop.com, as well as you can see their work on the Bead Table, which is our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group over on the Bead Table, jump over and get familiar, have a look around. You have to answer 3 little questions to be let into the group, and we'll be glad to have you. I'm here with my Alfie mug on this Friday after Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And so another bracing gulp of coffee here, and we will get started. So, but it's great to have everybody. Let's see, Geeta is over on our Facebook page, and she is moderating over there. So thank you, Geeta, as always, to have you. It's great to have you. And alrighty. Well, you know, when I was thinking about this project, I was thinking on Wednesday when I did the Facebook Live project for you guys, which was a fun one. The my take on Ali Mori's water garden bracelet, which was fun. We had a great time with that. I think you did. Sorry, I can see myself and I need to kind of arrange myself. I'm looking right at me and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a little askew. I need a dresser. Where's my dresser? There we go. All right, there we are. So on Wednesday I was thinking, I was like, holy cow, I need a good project for Friday, because not only is Friday what they call Black Friday here in the U.S., when everybody gets all of their holiday shopping done, it's also a good time to maybe bust out a quick and fast project that you can do for the holidays. Right? And so Drea is burning up my phone going, what are you doing for Free Tip Friday? What are you doing for Free Tip Friday? And I'm all, look, I haven't even made dressing for my turkey yet, so don't ask me about Free Tip Friday. But I thought about it and I said, you know, I want to combine some of our really fast techniques and use cord, Chinese knotting cord is what I'm going to use for this. And just make little bracelets that you can gift singles. They can go a single, which is great, or you can stack them up and you can see, you know that I like wearing a stack. Oh, Donna Chandler, what a nice comment. It's nice to see you over the miles. Thank you so much. It was a nice comment there. And I see Brandwin is watching over on our Facebook. Happy day after Thanksgiving, Brandwin. I hope you're holding it all together over there at Apple. So happy Friday to you. Okay, and I see Janice just jumped on our YouTube feed as well. So hello to JP. So the project I'm calling the 5 and 10 bracelet, and I'll show you why. I'm going to go to the bracelet first, and you guys can see this so that you actually know what I'm talking about, because I haven't even posted a picture of it because I was busy, very busy, getting it up and running for you guys today. We are in the office today. Everybody, all of the staff is in, and we're hustling and bustling around to get your orders out. So I filled some orders this morning, and then I jumped in for Free Tip Friday. So that's why I was just slightly tardy coming on today, but we're all set now. So this is the bracelet, you guys, that I'm calling the 5 and 10. And it's the 5 and 10 macrame bracelet. It's kind of derivative of our Bollywood bracelet, and it's meant to be because Britney's famous Bollywood, right? And the Bollywood bracelet is the ultimate in fast giftable items, right? It's Bollywood is fast, it stacks beautifully, but I thought this would be a good kind of companion piece to it. So I call it the 5 and 10. Number one, because the 5 and 10 cent store was always a place that you love to shop, right? And since this is theoretically the biggest shopping day of the year, it's kind of a good celebration of that as well. But it's also to help you remember how the pattern of this piece goes, okay? There's 5 beads in each little pod, and you can see what I've used here. I've used little shadows, big surprise, Richburg. And I've used, this is on 0.5 millimeter Chinese knotting cord, but I've got some variations I'm going to share with you too. So there's 5 beads per strand here, and then 10 stitches in between. So you start with 10, and then you go 5 and 10 and 5 and 10, all the way down to the end of the bracelet. Okay, so let me show you a little bit, let me show you the list of what I'm using. Okay, so for the 5 and 10 macrame bracelet, I am using Chinese knotting cord, and I've done it with all 3 sizes of Chinese knotting cord. Okay, so you can totally stash dive for this, though we'd love it if you came on to beadshop.com and did some shopping. But I bet right now, if you, like my mom, are sitting around eating leftovers, you can put aside your leftovers and make some bracelets. Mom, I'm going to come over. I'm driving to Fresno right now, and we're going to have some leftovers. So you can totally stash dive. So I'm going to show you, I'm using the 0.4 millimeter in peony, the 0.5 millimeter in spring leaf, and the 0.8 millimeter in blue gray. Okay, so I've got all 3 on the board. I grabbed some seed beads, and I'm using, again, they were sitting here on my table, left over from, literally leftovers, right? From our project on Wednesday. So I am using the 8-1017, the Silverline Emerald AB. Then I always have with me, always kind of nearby because I use them in everything, are the little shadows in brass. And they're also kind of the same, in a similar size to those 8-aughts, so I think they look pretty good. And then I have an accent bead, again with a leftover. It's an 8 millimeter English cut amethyst blue, leftover from my project on Wednesday. And then I went in and I grabbed 3 buttons that I like the looks of together. Our button that we call Betty, our button we call Tea Leaves, and our Button Eyes button. Okay? And now's the time, if you haven't already taken a screenshot of your screen right now. Everybody, if you're on a mobile device, take your screenshot now. Dria's going to go ahead and put this up on the blog a little later, so you'll have this. But this is also a good way to remember. Okay, so I'm going to now take this list off the screen. Everybody finish up. And I'm going to go to the oh, someone just texted me on my phone. I thought I put it on silent, but sorry, I'm bad. Here's the Chinese knotting cord, which is right here. And then you can see I have the Chinese knotting cord in 4, 5, and 8, 0.4, 0.5, and 0.8 millimeter. And then I've got the shadows. I've got the emerald silver lined. I've got these guys. You're going to need some glue, some GS Hypo Cement, and some Zap as well. I've got my Zap over here. It's kind of a little bit of a mess over here. It was all laid out nicely, and then I kind of moved everything around. Here's the Zap glue that's there, and of course the thread burner. And one quick note on this perfect end, the thread burner. I know that you guys have been waiting. Our supplier has been out of them for almost 2 months. Okay, I have a whole bunch on order. So they are telling me as soon as they get them into stock, they will send them out. So please be patient. Please put yourself on the notification list, and we will have them back in soon. I'm sorry about the long wait on those. They've just been so popular. But like everything else, if it's out of stock, don't worry. It will return, especially during this busy holiday season. It's like it's a revolving door here at beadshop.com. So things are coming back in as fast as we send them back out. So, and I just wanted to take a moment. Here's the pieces again that I've got on here, but I see so many people that have jumped on and are saying hello on both of our feeds. Emily just jumped on. Safe travels, Em. I know you're driving today. Emily has cooked up an amazing earring project, you guys. She's going to be on not next week, but I think the following week with me. So it's going to be a great dose of Kate and Emily, and the earring is just spectacular, so I can't wait to share that with you. And it seems over here on our YouTube feed, we've got everybody watching from all over. I see Leslie from over the pond. It's good to see you guys over there on the Facebook feed. So thank you guys so much for joining me over there. I see Lori, and then I see Ellen over there. So I'm doing my my romper room good mornings, but it's great to have everyone here. Okay, so here are the pieces that are here. Oh, and I just saw, Beth, you said you need the replacement tip for your thread burner. We have those, and I think they're in stock. If they're not, they will also be back. But when I checked before I left on Wednesday, they were, but I can't attest to the fact if they are or not. But we do carry them, so hang tight, and you'll be able to grab one of those. So I'm going to get in kind of tight here with the camera so you guys can actually see what's going on here. Let me move this over. I'm going to move this to this so you guys can see that. And I'm going to kind of pull this over a little bit so you can see these a little more closely. Okay, so here are the three sizes of cord, okay? The 0.4 millimeter, which is this one, and then I pop up to the 0.5, and you can see the 0.8 is ready to go right over here. And I just kind of pulled randomly colors that I liked and that I thought went well together, and kind of went with the beads that I had chosen. So this is the peony, this is the spring leaf, and this is the blue green right here. Okay, and so so I started. Let me get. I have. Where did the button go? I've got it here somewhere. Does anyone see it on my table? There's that button. Oh, here it is in this dish. Let me widen everything out, and I'll show you guys how this piece looks. So the green one is the one in the spring leaf is the one that I've finished up. Let me push this up a little bit so it's that line isn't so distracting. There we go. You can see here's the completed, almost completed bracelet, and I'm going to show you. I've got a fun little trick on how to do the closure, and it involves these shadows. Okay, so here's the bracelet that's finished, and you can see again it's the 5 and 10 because there's 10 stitches and 5 beads is the pattern, the repeating pattern. Okay, so this is the one in the 0.5. The 4 is here. It's a little bit thinner, a little bit finer, right? But it's also really great for stacking. And you can see I use the 8/aughts in these, but you could even go down to 11s, size 11 seed beads too, if you wanted to make it a little more delicate. That would look nice with the 4s. Okay, and then I have the 8, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. But let me show you how to connect this button first and foremost. So for every, I'm going to flash this one more time here. For each bracelet, you're going to need 2 pieces of the Chinese knotting cord. Okay, you're going to need 1 2-yard piece and 1 1-yard piece. You actually want to make sure that you're really generous with the 2-yard piece, okay, because you want that 2-yard piece, you use almost every bit of it. So just make sure, and if your beads are a little bit larger, you might want to go a little bit more than those 2 yards, okay? But as I said, that 2-yard piece and then that 1-yard piece. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I'm going to do this in, maybe I'll do it in this pink, I mean in the fuchsia. Peony. Is that what color it is? That's what I'm using, peony. So right now I'm cutting 1 2-yard piece and 1 1-yard piece, okay? Then what you're going to do with those strands is all of the ends, first I'm going to tie it, then I'm going to stiffen the strands of the CKC using some zap, and then I'm going to send them through my button and tie them, okay? So in this case, I've grabbed, this is our button that we call Betty, this one. And we have it in the different finishes too. All right, I grabbed the brass. I don't know, I wanted to use the brass on all these. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this one through. I'm not gonna take the time, though I probably should, to zap these ends. I've zapped the ends on all my other ones over here, but just in case you haven't seen me do it, you know, it's my to do with the ends of these threads, so I'm going to do it now. Janice is asking, can you graduate from an 11 to an 8 and then down to an 11? You sure could, to make it look, since they're 5. And what I was going to do with this is I was going to switch back and forth between the shadows and the 8/aughts. So that would work. That would work as well. Okay, however you want to do it. But graduation between the 11/aughts and the 8/aughts would also give it a little bit of dimension. So on my baggie, I've dropped my little dab of zap, and I'm just going to take my ends, being very careful not to glue my hand to the bag, and I'm going to pull it. So there's one. You kind of have to be very mindful and not too slapdash, or else it'll all go sideways right from the beginning here. Okay, and then I'm going to just keep doing all 4 ends. And actually I only need to do 3 ends because the short end, but I'm not sure which is going to be the short end, so I'm going to do all 4 just to make sure I have everything done. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. There we go. And this one. All right, once that's done, and the first one is probably dry by the time I do the last one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go through. So I've gone through once with this one, and is this the long piece or the short piece? I don't know, but I will tell you, this is the long piece that I've done. The 2-yard piece, and then you follow it. Sorry, I'm trying to untangle it here. There we go. Then you follow it with the 1-yard piece. Okay, and this is correct for all 3 styles of bracelets. Okay, and so what you could do is you could just start with some macrame right here, okay, if you wanted, but to secure this around the button. But that also takes some time, okay? So again, I wanted these to be fast. So I did one that has where I started it with the macrame here. And can you see here, I looped it around and started it with the macrame. But I think it's much faster and easier, okay, to just tie a knot, and it's also easy to reduce your strands this way. So I'm going to show you how to do it this way. So see how I've got all of my strands, my 4 longs, my 2 let me try that again. My 1 2-yard strand, okay, and my single 1-yard strand, and it comes through, okay, and I just come here and I tie an overhand knot. So I've got that short little leg there and 3 long legs, because the short little leg I'm going to reduce. Now you could, because I only wanted 3, a grouping of 3 beads, so I had to take away one of the strands. But you could do 4. You could make this a longer strand too, but I wanted it to be 3 because I liked the way that looked. And so once I have put this, I have knotted this together like that, I have this piece here. I could add a little bit of glue to that knot, or add a little bit of glue and then tie the knot over the top, but the knot is pretty sturdy. So I'm going to come in with my thread burner and just burn that short one away, or you can clip it. And if you don't pull your thread away fast enough after you burn it, it'll re-singe together, which is how I knew that you could connect CKC like that. I did that on one of those videos, I can't remember, using the thread burner to connect more CKC. Okay, so there's my 3 strands that are all ready to go. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all of these others for the moment because they're kind of in my way. So let me just get rid of those. And let me show you how I set this up. So I am using the deep dish design tray, and I'm using it on the short end, not the length. Okay, so I get my button, and this button, this Betty button, this one here, the tea leaves, since it's flat, I can just connect it, I can just clip it like that. But these domed little buttons like this, I make a little leash for them, and I put them in that way to hold them, because they don't clip directly onto the board very easily. Okay, just like so. Then I take, all of the threads now should be about the same length. Your center thread will probably be slightly shorter, so that center thread is what I isolate here at the beginning, or in the center, right? And I clip it on the other side here. I've got the board right here, and I'm clipping it down, because when I do macrame, we want this to be nice and tight. Okay, that needs to have tension. I'm going to get your friend and mine, my old spool of wine Ceylon that's still hanging around here, to lift my threads up. Okay, and I'm going to just macrame like my life depended on it. Get a little tighter so you can see it. If you haven't watched this before, or you haven't been watching me lately doing all of this macrame, just a reminder that we do have a skill builder on beadshop.com that talks about how to do the flat macrame knot. Okay, so I'm going to start with the right side. Here's my right hand over here, and I'm going to come in, I'm going to create that P, that letter P. There's the loop of the P, and there's the stem of the P. The tail is going off towards my left hand, so I get my left hand thread, I go over that tail, under the center strand, and up and out through the loop of that P. Okay, so that's knot number 1. Now I'm going to do it on the opposite side. Here's this opposite, here's my Q, so I go with the tail, over the tail of the Q, under the center strand, and up through the loop of the Q. And this is knot number 2. I'm going to go back and forth between my P's and Q's, so that's 4 right there. This is 5. This is, I think this is 6. And I'll show you how I count them too if you lose track. That's 7. But each half hitch that you're tying, a pair of those makes one full knot. I think that's it. Let's take a look. And I'll show you how I count, just as a reminder. Okay, let me get a little tighter in here. Okay, whoop, that's a little too tight, isn't it? A little too, there we go. Perfect. So you count each of the scallops on your knots. Okay, so on this side there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on this side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 scallops a side, which means I've made a complete 10 knots. Okay, so now once you have your 10, now we need to do our 5, right? So that means we need 5 beads on each leg. And so you can see here with this one how I've just added 5 of the 8 dots. So I'm going to do that. Let me get my little triangle trays here. This one and that one. And what I do, and you've seen me do this lately because I've been trying to go fast, right? So I hold all 3. Here, I undo it from the board, and I hold all 3 of my strands like this, and I'm going to string my beads on. Let me move this over so I can grab it. There we go. So I'll start with 1. Oh, you know what I haven't done, which is making this a little fussy? I have not cut those at a slight angle. I pulled that out of the shot, but I used my snipper here, my Zeron thread scissors, to cut them slightly at an angle. Dorothy is asking if 8/0 is the largest you can go. You know, Dorothy, I think if you're using the size 8 Chinese knotting cord, you could pop up to a size 6/0 for sure. Just, you know, play around with what you think works, because you could also pop it up to a regular size shadow. I think the 0.4 millimeter is a little thin, so I think that would be best reserved for 8/0 and 11/0. But you could just, if you wanted to pop it up, and it would go faster too on the 8, it would look really nice with the 6/0. I didn't have any 6/0 languishing here on my work table. So I went with these 8/0 that have been hanging around. And if you notice how, like Janice had been asking about mixing 8/0 and 11/0, I want to show you, I've just mixed the 8/0 and the shadows, right? So all of these are still, you know, they are all still speaking to each other, right? The different designs. So you could make like a set of 5 of these with the different sizes. You could also mix, like do one with, you know, do some with a single color and then mix your colors in the other one too. Maybe have, you know, you could macrame with 2 different colors or stuff too to kind of play around, but you use your imagination with that. So now I'm going to take this center one and connect it back to the board with my clip. So again, it's tight. And this is the only step that's kind of tricky, but it holds pretty well with this cord. It holds a little bit better with the 0.5 millimeter than with the 4, but you can still kind of do it. You have to finagle it a little bit. So I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to make my P, and I'm just ignoring the beads on the strand. I'm not even worrying about them. And I'm just going to make one traditional half hitch macrame stitch, right? So I'm getting that left hand side up through the loop of the P. And let me get those out of the way. And then you tighten it up. And the beads just kind of sit together in like a little row, or they might kind of bundle together. So they also kind of look like Emily's beaded bead. No, berry chain, berry beads. You know what I'm trying to say. It's over in Seed Bead School, right? So I tighten that, and then I tighten that up. So now that's 2 stitches. And you want these first stitches to be kind of tight, so this sits nicely, so there isn't a lot of movement here. So then I'm just gonna macrame like I mean it. So that was 2. So this will be 4, right and left. That's 3 and 4. And 5 and 6. I didn't put my seal on underneath there, so, but I'm on a roll, so I don't want to move. 7 and 8. And the beads take up a good amount of length on this, right? So it makes these go quickly. So if you're at home in the evening or during the day this weekend, there you go. So here's 10. All right, so that's it. So let's get a little tighter. I like the mixture of these beads too, Dorothy. Thank you. I think they look kind of nice, and it gives you kind of a focal. You know what I have sitting on here, also left over from Wednesday? I still have a few of these drops. So instead of the shadow, I could also put a drop in there. See how it looked? It would give it a little fun kind of texture to it. You could also, you know, throw a charm in there or something, and you could put a charm in each section right here, and just put a charm on one of the legs. So that would also be a great way to do kind of an eclectic charm bracelet with it too. Okay, so I'm going to make one more of these. Well, you've seen this. I don't need to make another one because I want to show you this. Let me move over. Let me just, so there's that one, there's this one, there's this one. This is with the buttonized button that I put on that one. I like that a lot. So I'm gonna tape that to the board. And this again is a project that's very portable. If you use, you know, you've seen me with our little storage bins that we keep our jump rings in. We sell these over on the site. If you were taking this traveling, you could just put your little shadows and your buttons and stuff in this little container, and then it would be super portable for you. And if you didn't know about these, is you know that you can take this whole lid off. I'll show you. It's very easy to come off. So it makes a great little portable beading tray too. Okay, and again, we have those on the site. They're called Little Storage, and then we have a larger one that's called Bigger Than Little Storage. And you just want to make sure they line up, and then they close all up like that. So we have that size, and then we've got this size too. And I have them all for the jump rings right here, but they're also great for handy for beading as well. So then I thought what I'd do is I've got the 8 millimeter, the 0.8 millimeter here, and I'm going to attach that to my board. I thought that it would look nice. I'm going to get those out of the way and move this over. I thought it would look nice if these had a companion bracelet. Okay, so what I started to do was just macrame a plain strand with the 0.5, and it's just plain. right? Nothing. Let me turn it so it's facing the right way. It's facing the right way. So you don't have to add any beads to it, right? And wouldn't this stack up nicely with those? So with this one, all I do is I just macrame. And it couldn't be easier, right? Whoops. It could be if this didn't come apart. Let me try that again. Sometimes clipping the button to the board is not as tight or secure as you want it to be. Let me really put it on there. There we go. I'm just pulling it a little too tightly. There we go. Okay, so I know I start on the side with the little scallop there. So that's my P side. And I just come in. And it's, since it's going down a single strand of the CKC, this is the 0.5 millimeter, it gives it kind of a slim profile. Okay, I would do the same way as I did those others by just doing the 1 2-yard piece. Whoops, why is this doing that? I'm gonna leach it this way then. There we go. And I just used some kitchen twine from our kitchen twine ball. There we go. All right. And like I was saying, it just gives it a little bit of a slimmer profile to have that just single strand running underneath. You could make it even thinner by macrameing over a thinner core, right? So if I macrame it over the 0.4, this would be even smaller, okay? Or you could macrame with the 0.4 over the 0.5, okay? So then once I have, do they have 6? Someone's counting 2, 4, 5, 2, 4. Oh, those do have 6. 2, 4, 6. Those have 5. That cluster has 6. I must have screwed that one up, Gita. Sharp eyes. I was doing it last night while I was in a turkey coma, I think. But 5 or 6, whatever. Okay. So I want to macrame. I could macrame just all along, just so it has, you know, just the half hitches. And I think it's just a pretty little bracelet just to tuck into your stack. But I also have these leftovers, this English cut, right? And so let me measure and see what this looks like. Where's my little, I had my ruler here. So, well, I'm wearing my tape measure so I can measure it that way. Oh, my ruler's right over here on my board. So I need this to be probably to fit in the middle. I probably need it to be about 1 inch longer here, okay? So I'll just macrame that inch. Get a little closer so you can see maybe a little bit better. There we go. And 1 inch. Let me get those out of the way. I was going to do it with the 8, and I'll do a few stitches with the 8 so you can see it. But this morning when I was preparing the samples, I don't know what I was thinking, and I started doing this style with the 0.5. So I went with it, so I'm doing this one. But all 3 of these styles can be done with all 3 of these cords. So it doesn't matter. But I think it was, I don't know if it was Donna or who mentioned it earlier, you could pop up to an 8/0 too, I mean a 6/0 rather. if you wanted to, for a little bit of a larger bead as well, especially with this 0.5 and 0.8 millimeter. I think we use the 0.5 the most, like the Bollywood, the Bollywood bracelets. We started with the 0.5, but I think it's nice to incorporate the other two sizes as well. So let's see what that, so that gives me about 3 inches. I need another 1/2 inch. Well, my mom is asking, I'll leave it to my mom. Thanks, Ma. How would you connect both bracelets with one button? Well, we could. I'll work that out when I get to the button portion of this. I like the stacks with all the buttons, but you could do this as a multiple strand. What I would do at the top is up here, I just keep connecting the bracelets from here. So, and there's room. I could start another bracelet and go down there. It's the second side that will get a little tricky with all of those cords, but you could work it out. I'll take a look and see what we can do. So let's get to this 3.5 inches because I just want to slide that button on. That's all we're going to do here. But look at how nice this just strand of nice even macrame stitches look, right? Looks pretty good. Let's see, is this 3.5 yet? Yeah, right on the money. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpin. I'm just going to put this, whoops, maybe this CKC right through that one. And I'm just going to take my thread and go around it. So we can make it plain, or you can put one simple focal on this. You could do this all the way along too if you wanted. I just wanted one to really, I wanted to showcase the macrame kind of in this, so the bead is kind of an afterthought, honestly. But I think it just gives it just a little bit of focus and a little bit of color. Okay. Whoops, tighten that up. Tighten. There we go. And tighten that one down. So you can see I'm going to move this over. So what we've got going on so far. So we've got that stack. We've got this stack. We've got this one that's starting to come along. I'm going to tuck it right into there. Okay. So now let's just take a look at how big the stitches are in the 0.8 millimeter, just so you can see. But these two, I think look really, these two colors, I think look really nice. But I wanted to add just one more little thing. And I thought that this blue, the blue-gray that I have here, really picked up on that amethyst color of the 8 millimeter English cut. There we go. So I've set this up, you know, you've seen me set it up just like the other guys, and split the cords so that the shortest one is going down the center and the other two are coming down the sides, because you need more thread when you macrame. Okay, and I'm going to start with the P side, P, up and over the leg, underneath that center and up. And the 8, now if you want to make this really fast, use the 8, right? I'm going to move it over a little bit because I'm bumping into those other beads. Because the 8 works up quickly. Because it's a much bigger cord. Okay. And, but this one would be nice just plain if you wanted. Let me get these clampers are in my way too. I've got to have a clean surface or else I keep getting these tails of this CKC tangled because I'm macrameing so fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So see, that's 5 there, right? And if you look at 5 on the green and 5 on the pink, can you see the difference? I'm going to get it in kind of tight. There we go. So same amount of stitches, but you can see super fast is the one for is the 8.8 odd because it's thicker. Tammy just asked over on the Facebook feed, happy day after Thanksgiving, Tam. Would this work with 0.5 millimeter leather? Yes, I do, and I think you're a genius. What I would do with the 0.5 millimeter leather, I would definitely pop up to a 6/0 or a regular shadow. That would look terrific and would be a great guide bracelet, especially. I think it would look amazing. Great observation. Yes and yes. Okay. So let me show you how we're going to end it. And I've come up with this kind of ingenious little trick, if I do say so myself. And I do see Michelle, I saw that. Thank you so much for grabbing those Fiesta Skull earrings. I'm going to work on them very soon and get them right out to you. And today I will flash my earrings. I forgot to flash you guys on Wednesday. I know you guys had asked to see the earrings I'm wearing, but I've been wearing them nonstop, so I will I'll do a close-up of them for you. Okay. So to do the closure, I'm going to get everything out of the way. So we're just going to focus on this green one. And these. Okay. So to measure, what I did was I made the, let me go over here so I can show you. On the little how-to list, you're going to measure, you're going to repeat this pattern, the 5 and 10 pattern, okay, until you're about 3/4 to 1/2 an inch short of the finished length, depending on the size of your button, okay. The macrame length that I did, you're going to measure for the button loop and make the macrame loop to fit the button, okay, and then you're going to glue. I'm going to show you how to do that. But so here's the end. So I finished all of my 5 and 10s. And you can see at the end where it fit, but for the button loop, I macrameed in 2 little shadows. Okay, because these little shadows have giant holes, and it worked with this 0.5 millimeter, and it will work with the 0.4. The 0.8, if you do this would have to be a 6/0, I think. Okay, so the button loop that I've then macrameed is about 1 inch. So if I folded it over, it's going to give me about a 1/2 inch. So this one, this size button that I've used, this tea leaves, needs about a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch for the loop. You know, a full inch, then fold it over, it'll be a 1/2 inch. So watch what I do here. I have these 3 tails left over. And I'm going to make sure this is tight, my last little things. I'm going to take this side. See that stiff zap needled piece? How it goes through that shadow? I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And if it doesn't go through, you can just macrame around it. You can just bring this around. It's okay. But I like that it goes through. because it really gives my loop a nice firm stopping point. Can you see that? And I can also, before I go any further, I want to make sure and test this to make sure that it fits. Okay, and it does. So now I'm just going to lay my long center cord down the middle, and let's set this up for macrame. Here's my little piece of, you get it in frame there, sorry. You get my little piece of cord. And I would clamp it there. This center one, I need it to be tight again, so I'm bringing it down to my board here, and I'm going to tighten it in. This bottom one, I don't think I could secure it. Is it long enough? I guess I could. Why not? I don't think it has to be, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so things kind of look like that, and then I'm going to over here. All right. So now I've got this center strand, the two short strands. I'm just going to macrame all of this. This is where you could add thread if your tails are too short. So make sure that you're generous. Maybe 2 1/4 yards, but you'll be fine. I'll have enough here for that. I'm going to come in and I'm going to tie just over the top. See, I've made my first macrame stitch. I'm going to do the same thing. Whoops. See why it needs to be tight. There we go. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to bring it all under one clamp. There we go. Make it sit a little bit better. Now I'm going to tie another one. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to give myself a little, just a tiniest bit of glue right there. And I'm going to get my hypo cement. I'm going to run it down right there, right? So when I macrame over the top of this, that glue is going to get bound up into the knot. Can you tell I'm trying to put the lid of my hypo cement back on? There we go. Okay. All right. Get that out of the way and just keep going. Over. And see, I'm going under the full bracelet, not just that little center. There we go. And over and under. Those tails that are thickened, or that are stiffened rather, also really help with your macrame, sailing these underneath just so much faster. Okay. And this one, almost there. I'm going to add one more drop. There we go. And I'll finish it off. It's a pretty slick little finish. Thanks, Tam. I was pretty pleased with myself. I really thought about this, and I'm like, how can we make this almost seamless and fast? I think this will take 2 more stitches. 1, which is good because that's about all the thread I have left for this. And 2. There we go, nice and firm. Let's glue once more. There, there, and there. Now, if this weren't demo time and this was real jewelry making time, you know what I'd do? I'd let this sit, right? Janice is also saying you could use a transition bead to crimp and close it off. Yeah, you could do that too. It would be nice. That, and it would even be faster. And I thought about doing that, but I wanted this to be all macrame. I'm just going to get my toothpick and I just want to make sure that that's all saturated in there. So we're just going to pretend that 24 hours have passed. And I'm going to get my thread burner. And the way I do it is I insert my thread inside the thread burner. Now I want to be really careful when I do this. The only thing I want to singe is this strand, right? So I put everything into position, then I push the button. Okay? Then I'm patient, let it heat up, and there it goes. And I'll do this same one over here. Loop it through, touch it, get it right into position, then hit the button, pull on the cord and the thread burner all at the same time. And here. And if there's any little extra threads, I heat the thread burner, the tip, and I just tap it. Tip and hit and heat and tap. That's what I'm trying to say. That's it. So before we put this down, it's like when you're working with the rotary cutter, before you put it down, you want to close it so that this little tip doesn't break off. Okay. And so here is on the front side, you can see what a slick, nice, clean closure that is. And this connects in. So there you have it. There is our 5 and 10 macrame bracelet. Let me widen this out and let's lay them all together. Okay. So here's this. Looks like Drea jumped on and she said that there is a blog post that's coming soon, so you guys will see that. I'll flash on the ingredients before I go to. But here's one set up for a screenshot. Okay. There we go. And I'll do this one long. Okay, so that's it. That's it. There we go. Let me make sure this is nice and even. Pretty. Let me get in tight. So just a reminder of the ingredients here. We used all sizes of the CKC, or Chinese knotting cord, as we like to say it. The 0.4, the 0.5, and the 0.8. 8mm 8/0. You could pop down to an 11 or up to a 6/0. I used one lone 8mm English cut. Then I've got the buttonized button, the tea leaves buttons, and the Betty button here. Okay, so that is it. Let me click on over here to the ingredients one more time so you can see it. It's all there if you didn't take your screenshot. My mom also mentioned, if you are not watching on a mobile device, get your phone and take a photo of the TV screen right now so you'll have it. But as I said, Drea will have those up within the hour, she said. So we'll have this. And Janice is also mentioning you could do this project definitely with regular Ceylon. You could mix it up with the regular Ceylon as well. Okay, and I did promise I'll hold this that you guys had asked and wanted to see the earrings that I had made and was wearing. So those are my latest little jangly pieces that are working on my ears. So I wanted to show you guys this. So that's what I'm wearing today. Okay. So there you have it, you guys. Easy, fast, perfect for the holidays, I think, for your Secret Santa gifts. Make just one or make a whole bunch or add them to your stack. I'm wearing, and I neglected to tell you guys earlier, I wanted to show you, but you can find them. This is our For the Guys braided bracelet that I've got here, as well as these stretchy stackers that we did for, I think it was last year, last Christmas. It's just a little, the 8mm rondelles on the stretch, along with the peyote stitch bead, and those came on along really nice and fast, easy to do. So you can certainly add them to your stack of what's going on here, and very, very easy for you guys to create. So I will be seeing you guys next week. We are hustling to get all of your Black Friday orders out as quickly as possible. Don't forget, check the website, check your emails, because we have fun doorbusters and things going on all weekend for those of you who are newsletter subscribers. So get in there, you guys, get in there. Next week I have a really fun project that I think you guys are gonna like, and then December is full of a lot of fun. Brittany's coming. We have something special cooked up for Friday. Let me pull up the calendar here so I get the exact right date. The calendar is not coming up as fast as I want it to. There we go. The calendar tells me Brittany is going to be here on Friday, December 6th. So you're not going to want to miss this event that she and I are doing together. So that's on Friday. Then the following week, Emily will be back. We're going to be doing a great earring project that you guys are going to love. And on this Wednesday, you guys are going to love. And on this Wednesday on Facebook Live, or Bead Shop Live, I'm working with the new monthly mix. Jenny and Jordan put this monthly mix together, and it's gorgeous. It's kind of different, something that we, kind of a different one this time. And so I'm doing a project with it on Wednesday. That monthly mix is going to drop tomorrow, December 1st, Sunday, December 1st. We try that again because today's Friday. So you'll see that. So check your newsletters for it, and that's coming. And then Wednesday we're going to do a project with it. All right, so kids, that is it. Remember, you can go to our website, beadshop.com, for information on all the project and products from this broadcast. Again, remember to sign up for your newsletter for the latest discounts, giveaways, and new products. And as always, thanks for watching. We appreciate your shares and comments and your patronage always throughout the year. So thank you so much, and I will see all of you lovely people on Wednesday for Bead Shop Live. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a fantastic and creative weekend. And show